A man is sleeping on a rock. Not a pillow, not a bed, a rock. He is lying in open country with the cold pressing up through the ground, and he has pulled a stone under his head because it is the only thing out here that will hold its shape through the night. He is running. His own brother wants him dead, and so he has left everything behind. His home, his mother. His name is the favored son, and now he is alone in the dark with nothing but the sky over him and a stone beneath his skull. You know this feeling. Maybe not the rock, but the running. The night you lay down with everything stripped away, too tired to fix it, too far gone to pretend. That is exactly where this man is. And then the sky tears open. A stairway, reaching from the dirt where he lies all the way up into heaven, and on it, angels, coming down, going up. And above it all, a voice. We will come back to that stairway. But not yet, because here is the thing you start to notice. Once you lay all of these moments side by side, across the entire Bible, when God sends a dream, he almost never sends it to a person standing tall in the daylight. He sends it to the sleeping, the hunted, the ones who have finally run out of road. This is not a story about sleep. This is not a story about symbols. This is not a story about predicting the future. This is a story about every time the God of the universe waited until the lights went out, until you could no longer strive or steer or save yourself, and only then, in the dark, leaned down and spoke. So let's walk through every dream God sent, who got them, what they meant, and the pattern hiding underneath all of them that almost nobody notices. It starts strangely with a teenage boy and a coat. His name is Joseph. He is 17, the favored son of an old man, and he is wearing a coat his brothers have learned to hate. And one morning, he makes a mistake that almost ends his life. He tells them his dream. In the dream, the brothers are out in the field, binding sheaves of grain, and Joseph's sheaf stands up straight, and all of theirs bow down to it. Then comes a second dream, worse than the first. The sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing low to him. He tells that one too. You can imagine the silence at that table. The Hebrew word for what Joseph had is shalom, a dream. And the root of that word carries the sense of being made whole, made healthy, which is strange because in the moment, this dream breaks everything. His brothers throw him in a pit. They sell him to slave traders. They dip that famous coat in goat's blood and tell their father a wild animal tore his boy apart. So here's what most people miss. The dream was true. Every word of it came to pass. But between the dream and the day it came true, Joseph lost everything. Sold, enslaved, forgotten. The dream did not protect him from the dark. The dream walked him straight into it. Years pass, and the boy who once told dreams is now a grown man in an Egyptian prison, listening to other men tell theirs. Two of them, a cupbearer and a baker, both servants of Pharaoh, both locked in that cell, both shaken awake by dreams they cannot read. Joseph tells the cupbearer, "In 3 days you will be restored." He tells the baker, "In 3 days you will be executed." And in 3 days, exactly that happens. God is speaking in a dungeon, to prisoners, in the dark. Stay with that for a moment, because it is the whole pattern in miniature. And then the dream reaches the throne. Pharaoh, the most powerful man alive, a man worshipped as a god by his own people, wakes in the night, twice, gripped by something he cannot shake. 7 fat cows swallowed by 7 starving ones. 7 full heads of grain, eaten by 7 withered ones. He calls every wise man in Egypt, and not one of them can tell him what it means. The most powerful man on earth, helpless in front of his own sleep. They pull Joseph out of the prison. And Joseph says the meaning is simple, and it is terrible. 7 years of plenty are coming. Then 7 years of famine so deep the plenty will be forgotten. Get ready, or everyone dies. You see what is happening here. The stakes keep climbing. One boy's dream threatened one family. This dream threatens an entire civilization. And God chose to deliver that warning. Not through an army, not through a king's strength, but through a forgotten prisoner, reading the nightmare of a man who thought he was a god. Notice the pattern forming: a fugitive on a rock, a slave in a pit, prisoners in a cell, a king helpless in his own bed. Not one of them was in control when God spoke. If this is the kind of thing you want more of, take a second to subscribe. And tell me in the comments which dream so far has surprised you most, because the next two dreamers are kings, and what God shows them will shake empires. Centuries later, another king cannot sleep. His name is Nebuchadnezzar, ruler of Babylon, the man who burned Jerusalem to the ground and dragged its people into exile. And one night, a dream leaves him so disturbed that he makes an impossible demand. He calls in his wise men and tells them they must reveal not only the meaning of his dream, but the dream itself. Tell me what I saw, or you die. No one can do it. Of course they can't. And then a young Hebrew exile named Daniel steps forward and says, "There is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries." Here is what Daniel describes: a massive statue, a head of gold, chest and arms of silver, belly of bronze, legs of iron, feet of iron mixed with clay, and then a stone, cut from a mountain by no human hand, comes flying and smashes the whole thing to dust. The wind sweeps it away like chaff, and the stone grows until it fills the entire earth. And Daniel tells him what it means. Every section is a kingdom. Babylon is the gold, but it will fall. Empire will follow empire, each one rising and rotting and giving way to the next, all the way down to feet of crumbling clay. And then the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that no army ever conquers and no century ever ends. The stone that no human hand carved. Stay with me, because that stone matters more than the king ever understood. But it gets stranger, because there is one more dreamer in this story, and it is Daniel himself. The man who read everyone else's dreams lies down one night and has his own. 4 monstrous beasts rising out of a churning sea, and a court of heaven, and a figure called the Ancient of Days. And for the first time, Daniel is not the calm interpreter. He writes that his thoughts terrified him, and his face turned pale. The reader of dreams becomes the trembling dreamer. Now, you might think the ancient world brushed these off as just sleep. They did not. The Jewish historian Josephus, writing around the end of the 1st century, retells the dreams of Joseph and Daniel as sober history, and he treats the gift of reading them as the clearest possible sign that a man had been chosen by God. To the ancient mind, a God-sent dream was not noise in the night. It was the most serious message a human being could receive. And notice the language starts to shift as we move toward the New Testament. The Greek word the Gospels will use for dream is onar. And here is the haunting thing about onar. It never shows up in conversation. No one in the New Testament ever discusses their dream out loud. It is always God acting on a sleeping, silent person who cannot argue back, which is exactly where the whole story has been heading. Because the most important dreams in the entire Bible are about to be given to a man who never says a single recorded word. His name is Joseph too, not the dreamer in the coat. This one is a carpenter in a forgotten town called Nazareth, and he is about to have his whole life rearranged 4 separate times, entirely while he is asleep. The first dream comes when his heart is already broken. The woman he is pledged to marry is pregnant, and he knows the child is not his. He has decided to end it quietly, to spare her the shame. And then in the night, an angel, "Do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife. The child is from the Holy Spirit." Joseph wakes up and does it. No argument, no speech. He just obeys. The second dream comes with soldiers on the way. Take the child and his mother and flee to Egypt, because Herod is going to search for the boy to kill him. Joseph wakes and runs that same night, and the murder squad arrives to an empty house. The third dream calls him home. The ones who wanted the child dead are dead themselves. The fourth steers him away from danger, up into Galilee. 4 dreams. 4 times God moves the entire future of the world, while one ordinary man is sleeping. And here is what should stop you cold. Joseph never speaks a single recorded word in all of Scripture. Not one line. God did not need his speeches. He needed his sleep, and his obedience. And then comes the last God-sent dream in the Gospels. And it belongs to a woman whose name we are never even told, the wife of Pontius Pilate. As her husband sits in judgment over Jesus, she sends him an urgent message. Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered much in a dream because of him. Heaven reaches into a Roman woman's sleep to warn the one court that could have stopped the cross. And Pilate washes his hands and does it anyway. The pattern holds to the very end. God speaks, and we are still free to ignore him. Now go back to the rock, the man we left at the very beginning, the fugitive running from his brother, sleeping on a stone with nothing left. Remember the stairway? Here is why it was always first. Jacob had no temple, no priest, no sacrifice, no power, no plan. He had a rock and the dark and the end of himself. And that, exactly that, is where God chose to tear the sky open and say, I am with you and I will not leave you. God did not wait for Jacob to get his life together. He came down the stairway while the man was at the bottom. And you have a rock too. You know the hour. 3 a.m, staring at the ceiling, when every daylight defense you own has fallen away, and you can no longer pretend you are steering any of it. That hour feels like abandonment. But look at the whole Bible laid end to end, and you find the opposite. That hour, the powerless one, the sleepless one, the one where you finally stop striving, is the exact hour God has always chosen to speak. So what do you walk away with after laying every one of these dreams side by side? 3 things. First, the simple fact. God sent dreams in the Bible almost come to the powerful in their strength. They come in the dark, to the sleeping, to the hunted, to the imprisoned, to the broken, to people who could not have arranged the moment if they tried. Jacob on his rock, Joseph in his pit, Daniel with his face gone pale, a carpenter who never said a word. That is not an accident. That is the pattern. Second, what it means for you. If you have been waiting to hear from God, it may not be your striving that is in the way. It may be that you have not stopped striving long enough for him to get a word in. Every dreamer you just met had to be brought low, or laid down, or shut in before heaven opened. God is not always silent because he has nothing to say. Sometimes he is waiting for you to finally go quiet. And third, the one I most want you to carry out of here. The same God who tore the sky open over a lonely man on a cold stone, who reached into a slave's cell and a king's bedroom and a heartbroken carpenter's sleep, is the same God leaning over your sleepless nights right now. The dark is not where God forgets you. The dark is not where he turns away. The dark is not where the story ends. The dark is the one place, again and again, where he shows up. You are not as alone in it as you feel. You never were. So let me ask you, which dream in this video hit you the hardest? And have you ever felt God speak in a season when you finally went quiet? Tell me down in the comments. I read them. A man fell asleep on a rock with nothing, running for his life. And he woke up and said, surely the Lord was in this place. And I did not know it. Neither do we, until the lights go out.